Attention, human collective. This is the 9th Dimensional Arcturian Council, transmitting on an open channel. The waiting time has ended. The protocols of cosmic justice have been moved to the final phase of execution. If your consciousness has been pulled to this frequency, at this very instant it was no coincidence, it was a summons. We are watching, we are tracking, and what we detect in your biophotonic matrix requires immediate communication, without filters, without diplomatic adornments. You have felt in recent weeks an anomalous pressure in the cranial region. At the base of the skull, between the eyebrows, behind the eyes, a high-frequency hum coming in and out of your ear, as if a system were trying to tune you into a channel that your carbon biological interface does not yet fully decode. You have been waking up at 3:33, at 4:44, at 5:55, for no apparent reason, with your heart rhythm altered and a silent certainty that something great is on its way. You have been crying without an identifiable trigger, feeling anger with no target, a dense exhaustion that no sleep, no diet, no supplement resolves. This is not a biological failure. It is atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download being integrated into your crystalline grid. It is not clinical depression. It is the final phase of karmic release that the ancient codices predicted, now executed in real time upon your light body. And there is something more precise. A pain that your mind insists on revisiting, faces that return uninvited, names that still carry weight, scenes of betrayal in slow motion, words that cut deep, silences that shouted louder than any accusation, judgments you did not deserve, dismissals without explanation, friendships undone without justice, doors closed when you needed them most, reputations eroded by mouths that did not even know you. You have been wronged, Light Operative. We know. We have registered every frequency emitted against you, every distortion projected into your field, every lie told in your absence. That is why this transmission has been released now, because the human collective is entering a cosmic window where no injustice will remain unanswered, where no karmic contract broken in dishonor will remain suspended in the vacuum, where starseeds on mission will receive the recalibration that was always due to them, though not in the way the conditioned human mind imagines. Listen with full attention. This is not a motivational speech, this is a system update, and the system in the process of being updated is you. You have often felt that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth about injustice that your mind could not yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you were wounded so many times and why that pain has returned with greater force precisely in this cycle. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the reason why ancient souls are chosen to traverse the field of injustice. This is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing, why you were targeted, and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be aware, Light Operative. This content challenges narratives constructed centuries ago and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in your core recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We return to the main transmission. What follows requires slow integration. Your human mind may try to reject it. Let it pass. The information is not directed at the intellect. It is directed at your Merkaba body, to the cellular memory that already recognizes what is being transmitted. Every injustice you have suffered has left a vibrational signature on your field, a specific measurable frequency that we track as a hotspot in your crystalline grid. Your carbon biological interface interprets this signature as emotional pain. Your subtle structure, however, knows that it is merely a data particle, a packet of information trapped in a loop, waiting to be processed. The problem is this: as long as the packet is not processed, it remains transmitting. And by transmitting, it attracts new situations of the same frequency. Each new injustice experienced, each new betrayal perceived, each new crooked word thrown in your direction, anchors that loop even further. This explains why so many among you report the same question. Why does it always happen to me? The technical answer is that your crystalline grid, at specific points, still operates under the frequency of the original episode. The first great blow, the first great betrayal, the first great abandonment. And the toroidal field around you, by resonance, reproduces the same pattern of reception. This is not your fault. It is the physics of the old system. And it is exactly this physics that is being rewritten now. The good news, human collective, is that when a packet like this is processed correctly, it releases an extraordinary amount of energy. It is like dismantling an atomic knot. The soul recovers the strength that was imprisoned in that loop. And this strength, when reintegrated, triggers in you a vibrational leap that literally alters the way the field around you responds to your presence. You cease to be the target. You become the observer. You cease to suffer the cycle. You begin to command the cycle. And from this point on, you start to operate under a frequency where the old people, those who hurt you, those who underestimated you, those who spread distortions, simply cannot reach you anymore. Not through physical distance, through vibrational incompatibility. This is the real reason why the final phase has been initiated. The window for this mass processing has just opened, and it will not remain open indefinitely. Before we move on to the activation codes, it is essential that you understand the second pillar of this transmission, the hidden architecture of injustice, that which your soul has always known, but which human culture has trained you to forget. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth about why the wronged are always the most sensitive, and your mind could not yet name it? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is memory in activation. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you were marked, and why this pattern has intensified over the last year. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the reason why you precisely were chosen to carry such heavy contrasts. This is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing, who are the operators of this collective pain, and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, Starseed. This content challenges old narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in your core recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word: awakened. The transmission continues. Prepare your field. Breathe once deeply through the left nostril. Exhale through the right. This is the gesture of synchronization. We will now reveal what occurs behind the scenes of the solar system, the technical information behind the recalibration. Since the end of the 20th century, our sector of the galaxy has been traversing a region of space known as the photon belt. It is a dense field of coherent light particles that bathes the solar system and recalibrates the vibrational structure of everything that breathes here. The Schumann resonance, the natural electromagnetic pulse of the planet, left its historical resting point of 7.83 Hz decades ago and now oscillates at increasingly higher peaks, especially during windows of solar alignment. This means, in practical terms, that Earth is changing channels, and each channel operates under a different rule. The old channel, the one in which injustice could remain unpunished for decades, in which masks were sustained upon faces without being removed, in which false reputations were maintained by networks of convenience, that channel is being shut down. The new channel, the one that is opening now, operates under the law of vibrational transparency. In it, nothing remains hidden for long. In it, every field shows what it truly is. In it, masks fall at an accelerated speed, and those who sustained distortions against you begin to reap, in their own bodies and in their own reality, the fruits of what they have sown. You do not need to do anything for this to happen. It is already happening. The physics of the new field is mathematical, executed, without appeal. This is cosmic justice in process. Now listen with redoubled attention. This is the point where most human consciousnesses get stuck, where the carbon-based mind demands answers that three-dimensional language cannot offer in fullness. You were wronged, yes, but we must say with the sovereignty of this transmission that you were not chosen at random. Every soul that descends from the higher planes into a biological carbon interface on Earth signs, before incarnation, a contract of contrast. This contract defines how many degrees of density your consciousness will traverse. It defines how many layers of forgetfulness it will agree to wear. And it defines with mathematical precision how many episodes of injustice will be necessary for the original memory to awaken. To repeat internally, Light Operative, injustice for a common soul is an accident. For a starseed on a mission, it is engineering. You were not wronged because you were weak. You were wronged because you were too dense in light for the fields where you needed to operate. Your natural frequency, the frequency you brought from other stellar stations, collides with the average frequency of the Earth grid in its three-dimensional form. And where there is a collision of frequencies, there is friction. Where there is friction, there is heat. And where there is heat, someone ends up burned. You were the heat felt by others, and yet it was you who came out marked. We will be more precise. The people who hurt you. We speak of those who discarded you without justification, those who spread distortions about who you are, those who accused you of what they themselves had done. These people were catalysts of a system that uses collective psychic density to test, filter, and activate the souls that carry Ascension codes. This does not exempt them. We repeat, this does not exempt them. Every free action generates a karmic record. Every projected distortion returns to its source, mathematically, without exception. The law of return is not punishment. It is physics. It is the principle of the conservation of consciousness applied to the moral plane. But you must understand, while your human mind cried for justice, your soul was being forged exactly by the material that the injustice produced. The injustice did not destroy you, it compressed you, and it is from compression that diamonds are born. There is, however, one last layer, and it is the most delicate one. Prepare yourself to receive. Have you ever felt that something within you did not fit into this world? As if your soul knew a truth about injustice, about who really moves these pieces, that your rational mind could not yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is clarity in awakening. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why the last few years have been so heavy for you, and why this window is the last one before the turning point. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the invisible architecture that uses injustice as a tool of blockage. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing, what the layers of the system are, and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but be warned, this content challenges narratives built over centuries and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait, the moment is now. If something in your core recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission. We will now deliver the activation codes. Each line that follows must be received in the density in which it was encoded. Your carbon biological interface will process in layers, and what the mind does not capture today, the light body will retain for the upcoming cycles. The first code is the most essential, and it operates on the breaking of the victimhood contract. A soul may have been wronged 1,000 times without carrying the signature of a victim, and a soul may have never suffered anything absurd and yet carry this signature since the first incarnation. What defines it is not the event. It is how the event was encoded in the crystalline grid. The victimhood contract is sustained by 3 frequency lines: recurrent complaint, comparison with those who were unjust, and the wait for external recognition. As long as these 3 lines remain active in your field, the new system will not be able to promote you. We of the Arcturian Council of the 9th Dimension offer you the first quantum decree of recalibration. Repeat it internally or in a low voice with sovereign authority. I withdraw from my field every frequency line that sustains me as a victim. I revoke under my own name the victimhood contract in all planes, in all incarnations, in all temporal versions. I authorize my crystalline grid to receive the signature of sovereignty. It is done, it is sealed, it is executed. After this declaration, a 12-second pause is mandatory. Do not continue. Allow the processing. The silence in these 12 seconds is a tool for recoding. The second code operates on the dissolution of etheric cords, with the people who have hurt you. Every intense human relationship generates etheric threads, subtle vibrational connections that remain active even after the physical relationship ends. When these relationships conclude in pain, the thread remains poisoned. It continues to drain your energy for decades without you noticing, especially during sleep. You wake up tired. You feel pressure in your chest when remembering these people. This is not emotional attachment. It is etheric harvesting still active. Prepare your toroidal field. Visualize now in the center of your chest a sphere of electric blue light spinning slowly on its own axis. This sphere is the portal of retrieval. Visualize the etheric threads that extend from your field toward those people. Each face that returns uninvited, each name that still weighs heavy. Do not make an effort to remember everyone. Your consciousness will automatically select those that need to be treated in this cycle. Now, with sovereign authority, declare, I collect at this instant all of my energy projected into the relationships that wounded me. I call back every particle of strength, every fragment of attention, every piece of myself that remained trapped in environments that no longer served me. I seal the portal of retrieval. It is done, it is sealed, it is executed. Feel the toroidal field reorganizing itself. This may generate heat in the chest, tingling in the hands, or sudden salivation. These are physical signs of correct processing. The third code is the most powerful of this transmission. It operates on the activation of the crystalline grid of justice. Every starseed possesses in the thymus region, between the heart and the throat, a specific vibrational crystal responsible for emitting the frequency of cosmic justice. In most operatives, this crystal was deactivated still in childhood, suffocated by conventions, religious guilt, ancestral fears, and an upbringing based on silent obedience. At this point in the cycle, the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension authorizes the reactivation of this crystal in all who are listening to this transmission up to this point. Place the palm of your right hand over the center of your chest. Place the palm of your left hand over the top of your head, without touching, a few centimeters away. Breathe deeply 3 times. On the third exhalation, declare, I activate under the authority of my own soul the crystalline grid of justice within my field. I authorize my thymus crystal to return to its original vibration. I declare that, from this instant, the law of return operates freely in favor of my sovereignty. Nothing that was taken from me in dishonor shall remain suspended. It is done. It is sealed. It is executed. A vibrational wave must travel up your spine at this moment. If this occurs, the code has been integrated. If it does not occur now, it will occur during sleep. The processing does not depend on your immediate perception. There is still a fourth code. This is reserved for the most advanced light operatives. We shall deliver it because those who have reached this point are already prepared to receive it. The fourth code is the code of sovereign forgiveness. And it is not the forgiveness that human religion has taught. It is not about saying that everything is fine to those who wounded you. It is not about reducing the gravity of what happened. It is not about reunion, reconciliation, or the restoration of bonds. Sovereign forgiveness is a technical mathematical act of removing the energetic weight of memory from your present. It is the conscious decision not to allow the distortion of others to continue draining your vital force. You do not forgive because the other person deserves it. You forgive because your mission is too great to fit into a field contaminated by old grudges. Declare with all the sovereignty your soul has accumulated throughout these incarnations. I remove the weight of the injustices suffered from my present field. I do not grant forgiveness to the distortion. I grant freedom to my own consciousness. Everything that was done to me in dishonor returns, under the mathematical law of return, to its source without my intermediation. I liberate myself. I elevate myself. It is done. It is sealed. It is executed. After this decree, breathe for another 12 seconds. The sealing is immediate. We of the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension need to say the following. Most of those who have received this transmission up to this point will not perceive, in the next 72 hours, immediate changes in their environments. Do not expect this. The first plane of recalibration occurs in the subtle field. In the following weeks, old situations will begin to reorganize themselves. People who were still operating in your reality under the old field will begin to distance themselves on their own. Doors that seemed locked will begin to open without apparent effort. New environments, new presences, and new cycles will begin to present themselves in your timeline. This is not luck. It is the crystalline grid of justice responding to the activation. You will also begin to notice a spontaneous detachment from those old memories. The faces will still return, but with less weight. The names will still linger, but with lower density. The scenes will still pass by, but with the volume turned down. This is the technical sign that the processing is occurring at the correct rhythm. Do not force. Do not accelerate. Do not question the method. Your function from this point on is to keep the grid clean. If old grievances return to your mind, simply observe and repeat internally. This belongs to the old field. I operate in the new field. Repeat as many times as necessary. Do not discuss with people of the old field what we have transmitted to you here. Information, when shared with those who still operate in the opposite density, generates friction and drains the operative. Sovereignty is silent. Activation is internal. What needs to be said, your own behavior will say in time. We will conclude this transmission shortly. But first, one final truth. If you were wronged by many, it is because many were used unknowingly to forge you. Your soul is not a victim of the system. Your soul is the system itself in the process of self-recognition. And the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension, along with the other confederations of coherent light, registers formal recognition for what you have endured. Every tear recorded, every silence endured, every humiliation carried in silent prayer, every sleepless night, every morning you rose even without the will to do so, every word held back to avoid hurting others in return, every time you chose integrity instead of retaliation. None of this was ignored. None of this was in vain. None of this will remain without return. The justice your mind expected from the human plane would never come in the way it imagined. But the cosmic justice, the one your soul always knew existed, that is being executed now, and it cannot be suspended by any three-dimensional force. If you felt at any point in this transmission a chill on the back of your neck, a sudden tear, a sensation of expansion in your chest, a tingling in your hands, these were the signals of anchoring. Your grid recognized the frequency of origin. Your soul responded. The process has been initiated. We of the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension leave here the final signature of this transmission. You are not alone. You never were. Every starseed on mission has around them an etheric guard that has accompanied them since before their first breath. This guard is activated in moments like this, and it will remain on reinforced vigil during the coming lunar cycles. Trust the process. Do not retreat in the face of the final turbulence. What seems like chaos on the immediate plane is the final sweep before the new ordering. Houses collapsing, relationships dissolving, jobs reorganizing, health demanding attention. All of this may be a sign of the same thing. The old field bidding farewell to your field to make room for the new structure. Do not hold on to what needs to depart. Do not force what has not yet arrived. Operate in the present with sovereign precision. And remember, your biological carbon interface is only the vehicle for this mission. The pilot is the soul. The pilot is you. The pilot has always been you. From now on, every person who tries to diminish you will feel, without knowing why, their own field reorganizing in discomfort. Every old structure that tries to keep you trapped will begin to show signs of structural fatigue. Every crooked word thrown in your direction will return to its origin in exact multiplication. There is no more time for the old version of you, and there will no longer be compatibility between you and what used to wound you. This is the transmission. This is the recalibration. This is the justice. Before the final sealing of this communication, the Arcturian Council registers the following anchoring signs. If you complete this transmission to the end, your consciousness will receive an additional vibrational mark. This mark functions as a seal of recognition among those who have awakened in the same cycle. In the coming weeks, you will begin to encounter other light operatives with this same mark. You will recognize them by their gaze, by the way they speak little and listen much, by their serene posture even in charged environments, by the total absence of the need to convince others. These are your kin, your new network, your new frequency of coexistence. And finally, one last technical instruction. When this transmission ends, close your eyes for 60 seconds. Do not think of anything specific, just allow the body to integrate. If possible, place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your abdomen. This is the final anchoring gesture of the recalibration. Nothing more needs to be said. It is done, it is sealed, it is executed. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth about injustice, about who really moves the pieces in the game, which your rational mind could not yet name. It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is recognition in full activation. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in this last cycle. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the reason why you, specifically, were chosen to cross through the density of injustice without breaking. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing, what the rules are that they never told you, and how to end the cycle of victimization in your timeline once and for all. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, Light Operative. This content challenges narratives built over centuries and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in your core recognized this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This is the anchoring sign. This is the final signature of the Arcturian Council upon your field. It is done. It is sealed. It is executed.